Our second part of the webinar will move on to a specific university in it's going to be another area. It's going to be a Dutch speaking uh, community in Belgium. And it's our pleasure to invite KU Leuven to join us today at your site. So Pieter Heylen, he is the International Program Advisor at KU Leuven, and he will introduce us the programs and applications for us and probably give us a quick look at the life and culture in Belgium. Let's welcome Pieter.
All right. Thank you for hosting the session. I'm happy to introduce the Belgian University KU Leuven to you. I understand that my colleague has introduced the local system of education. So let's dive into a specific university. This here is our beautiful university library. It's one of our central locations. So I am happy to introduce the University of Leuven to you. Let's go to the next slide. So I'm assuming that my colleague has already showed you the location of Belgium within Europe, and obviously the way Belgium looks. But I'll want to show you specifically Leuven, which is our main campus. It's located right here in the center of the country. It's a mere 20 minutes away from the airport, so it's a really easy connection if you come to Belgium to effectively come to the city of Leuven as well. The city of Leuven is an old medieval city, so it is really quaint, let's say. It has a lot of medieval buildings, but it's also a student town. The larger area of Leuven has around 100,000. That's a bit too fast. Around 100,000 inhabitants, but within the ring around the city, there's only 35,000 people living. But we also have 42,000 student rooms. So it's a university town in a true meaning of the word, as in there are more students than other people living here. The other people living here are most of the time working for the university or have a relative working for the university. So it's a town where students feel at home, so to say. We also have campuses in 10 other Belgian cities. Our main campus is Leuven, obviously, and our main international campus besides Leuven is the city of Brussels, where we have an international hub as well, where we offer multiple international programs. So if you are interested in one of our programs, do make sure to see if you want to study in Brussels or in Leuven and where that they offer this program. Apparently, the slideshow goes to the next slide automatically, so I'll have to switch back a few times. What I also want to add about the city of Brussels is that, as you might know, it is the capital of the European Union. So it hosts a lot of headquarters of multinationals. It hosts the headquarters of the European Union, of NATO. So we try to tie our programs in the city of Brussels with those perks that we can offer because of that location. So we have programs related to politics there. We have programs related to international business. Our faculty of economics and business tries to connect with international business life and the headquarters. So it's very focused on international business, these programs, but we also have language programs, law programs, and all of that good stuff. So some very interesting side perks from studying in Brussels. Obviously, I also want to introduce the University of Leuven to you. The University of Leuven is the highest ranked university of the Low Countries in a THE ranking. We're currently 42nd. So although we are not as well known as the big European universities, we try to place our foot next to them. What I always tell students to take away from this, rankings obviously are not the main thing or not the only thing that matter, but a ranking does show to your future employer that you studied somewhere at a good university and that you have a really valuable degree. So it's what is the difference between 42nd and I don't know 140th? Probably not that big, but it will show to your future employer that you have a really valuable degree. So let's dive into the university. I already explained that we are in the top 50 worldwide in the Times Higher Education ranking, but we are also the most innovative university of Europe. We don't say that ourselves, but that's the press agency Reuters has calculated that. We're also 7th worldwide, as you can see here in this beautiful list, the first non-American university in that list. What this means to you as a student is that we try to keep both our academic programs because we are a research university, but we try to apply them to everyday life as much as we can. We want to conduct research and fundamental research, but we don't want to do research just for the sake of it. We also need for our inventions, our research to have implications in everyday life. And I think that also might make it more interesting for you as a student because you know that it's not just the fundamental stuff that you will be researching, but we also encourage our students, our professors, our researchers to try to apply it to everyday life so we can find meaning or change it in everyday life for everybody. And some other numbers here on the slide. I'm going to skip this. As explained, the most innovative ranking. It's also worth noting that we are a rather big university. We have over 60,000 students. We have over 12,000 international students, so you will not be the only international student at KU Leuven. There's also over 100 students from Taiwan studying each year, each academic year at our university. I'm going to dive into that a bit later. But we also obviously have a lot of staff both in our university hospitals and in the university, almost 8,000 researchers. We have more than 6,000 PhD researchers. So if you're interested in ever doing a PhD, if you want to pursue a career in academic life, that might be a good idea to start. And we obviously offer all possibilities there as well. We are a comprehensive university. That means that we offer programs in every field of study. Our programs are taught in our faculties. We have 15 faculties, each divided by field of research or field of study in this case. We offer 6 programs on a bachelor's level in English, but because we are a research university, we offer more programs on a master's and an advanced master's level. If you are looking for a master's program, we offer over 70 programs in English. And if you're looking for an advanced master, that means you already hold a prior master degree. We have 23 advanced masters that we offer in English. As mentioned, we are a very international university, over 12,000 international students from all over the world. What we want as a university is for our classrooms to be as diverse as possible. So you will not see classrooms with students from 1 or 2 countries. We are not dependent from international students for our funding and for our budget. So we want our student body to be as diverse as possible. I think that's a huge asset both for students and for university, because diversity, yeah, you can learn from so many different cultures. And if you choose to come studying in Western Europe, that's a huge step for you. But then you don't want to be in a classroom full of students from the same country. We offer, because we want to be in an international university, and we value international students. We also want to offer both our international students and our national students, the Belgian students, a lot of possibilities to having the international feel. So that is why we encourage our students as much as possible to do exchange, and we have welcome over 1,500 exchange students every year, and we encourage our students to go on exchange as well. So if you are in a program that includes exchange, that might make it possible for you to study both in Belgium at KU Leuven and at another university where we have an agreement with. It's not mandatory, but can definitely give an extra asset to your study career. This is it gives you an idea of where our students are coming from. Obviously, we have a lot of students from within Europe, the big Asian countries such as China or India. We can also see that we have a lot of students from the Americas or from Australia. And as you can see, we have over 100 students from Taiwan each year. I don't know the number for this year, and I don't know the number for the forthcoming years, but I'm assuming it will be more or less the same. So you will not be the only student from Taiwan here either. I touched on the fact that we are a research university before. This means that you will do some research while studying, but you also will be taught by our researchers who come to the classroom and teach from their own research, from their own findings. A bit too fast. And you will do some research as well during your program. You'll definitely need to write a paper either on something that some PhD students are working on, or a top topical subject, or a topic that you discuss together with your professor. We invite, as you can see, we invite guest lecturers. We have top facilities that are needed for top research. Basically everything that you'd expect from a top 50 university. Some universities call them schools, others call them colleges. We call them faculties, and they are responsible for teaching the programs. We divide our faculties in 3 groups: in the humanities and social sciences, science, engineering, and technology, and the biomedical sciences. And they include the faculties that you can see here. Each faculty offers multiple programs within a certain field of study. So if you are looking for a certain program and Belgium or KU Leuven interests you as a study destination, definitely check out our website. We have too many programs. We have over 100 programs that we offer in English. So there's too many programs to give you the full overview. But this way, when you're looking through our website, when you're going through our website, you know where to look and how to find a program that might be interesting to you. As mentioned, we have 6 bachelors that we teach in English, over 70 masters, and over 20 advanced masters. I already mentioned this, so I'll be skipping this slide. Our doctoral schools, I also mentioned that we offer a lot of possibilities if you want to pursue an academic career. Then you can start with doing a PhD. Our PhDs are taught in 3 doctoral schools. We have Doctoral School of Humanities and Social Sciences, of of Biomedical Sciences, and in Science, Engineering, and Technology. And they offer each multiple PhD programs. I don't know the numbers by heart, but I think it's around 20 programs each. Or if you have something really specific that you want to study in a PhD as well, you can contact our schools as well, and they will help you finding funding and a promoter to do a PhD in your specific topic or field of study. Because we are the most innovative university of Europe, it's not just, we also want to make that true in classrooms as well. I mentioned that we want our researchers to be connected to society, but we also implement the most innovative methods of learning. So yeah, I think I'll just leave it there. But I'll to support your learning, we also have, yeah, I think I forgot to mention that the university has been in the city of Leuven since the 15th century. So we're almost 600 years old. That means that the university grew together with the city. So we don't have one campus the way that the American universities have, or the English universities. But we always say that the city is our campus, because you'll find university buildings all over town. And the same goes for our libraries. We have over 24 libraries. They're scattered all over the city of Leuven. We have a few in Brussels as well, and in our other campuses. And because we have a 600-year tradition in in teaching, in researching. We also have really huge libraries with centuries-old collections, with really beautiful buildings, with some really exclusive collections as well. So, for instance, if you're interested in studying philosophy, we have a really world-renowned library in philosophy, and the collections of that library are really interesting as well. Obviously, our university is also trying to encourage our students to in entrepreneurship, which means we are encouraging our students in putting what they are taught, what they are researching into practice, so that it's not only for students who want, for students in business who want to start their own little company or their own startup, but also for students of every field of study. If you have something that you want to start working on, if you have a product that you would want to put on the market, if you have some talents and you want to start your own company, then our KU Leuven Kick department, our KU Leuven Kick office, they will encourage you with their knowledge of how to start a company, what you need to take into account, and all of that good stuff. As you can see here, they offer legal advice, technical advice, creative advice, and interdisciplinary teams of putting research and theory into practice. I think we are near the end of the presentation. So we're going to dive into on the part that's also really interesting and important for you if you want to study here. We will start off with our admission requirements. It's not possible for me to give you the admission requirements for all programs right here in this presentation, because admission requirements, they vary by program. You will always need to show your proficiency in English. It's a minimum IELTS of 6.5 and a TOEFL internet-based test of minimum 79%. And the other conditions, they vary by program. Some programs, they require a GMAT or GRE. So my suggestion here is to check out our website, find for a program that is interesting to you, and go reading some more about the specific admission requirements. Sorry. Living and study expenses in Belgium. I'm assuming that my colleague from Wallonia and Brussels has already touched on this. The tuition fee, they vary by program. However, because tuition fees are heavily subsidized here in Belgium by the government, our tuition fees are rather low. That doesn't mean that our education is low of quality. It's because Belgium really values the openness of international programs and international study. Tuition fees are different for students from within Europe to students from outside Europe. For Taiwanese students, tuition fee, they vary between 32,000 new Taiwanese dollar and 200,000 new Taiwanese dollar. These tuition fees are per academic year. To know how much the fee is for your specific program, feel free to check out our website. We also have a limited amount of scholarships because all tuition fees are sponsored by the government. We don't have that many scholarships that we can offer, but definitely check out our mastermind program. Other living expenses in Belgium are accommodation. Accommodation is, I wouldn't say cheap, but it costs definitely less than in other European student towns for a room in a student house. So that means with shared accommodations like bathrooms and kitchen, you pay in between 10,000 and 13,000 new Taiwanese dollars per month. Study material obviously depends on the program that you're studying. Our programs try to keep them as open as possible by offering a lot of reading materials online and all of that good stuff, but you'll have to count in between 10,000 and 20,000 new Taiwanese dollar per academic year. Other expenses that you need to take into account is, for instance, a bus ticket, it will cost you around 500 new Taiwanese dollar for 10 rides. 500 for 10 rides, and a soft drink in a bar is around 60. That will give you an idea of how much everything would cost here in Belgium. Accommodations, they vary in Belgium and in our campuses, so both in Leuven and in Brussels. You have private accommodations where most of our students stay. It's small scale, it houses 3 to 10 students, and you have a large variety. What we do as a university is that we have a database that will guide you in finding a room. So we have a database with all the rooms that we can find in the city. Those are checked on quality, on fire safety, on niceness in general, let's say. So you can already browse some rooms, and then make a reservation for a room from Taiwan for the academic year that is going to follow. And that's something that we recommend as well. We also have university dorms. They are often really large buildings with a lot of rooms, often housing more than 100 students, and they have similar rates. So it's not that one option is a lot cheaper or more expensive than the other. So this concludes my presentation. There's one thing that I also want to mention that I heard my colleague from Wallonia and Brussels mention already, is that you need to have, if you want to stay after your study, that you need to reapply for a visa. This is not for universities in the north of Belgium. Your student visa will be valid if you want to find a job or start your own company for 1 year after you graduate. So that's something that is really different that I want to point out as well. And I think we are open to questions now.
Thank you, Peter. Pretty thorough introduction regarding KU. Is there any, since we mentioned there are roughly 100 to 120 each year Taiwanese students studying in KU Leuven. Do you know, is there any alumni network, like, so probably Taiwanese students may make use for?
Sorry, I didn't get that question. Can you repeat it, please?
You mentioned there are roughly 100 to 120 Taiwanese students each year
Yeah.
enrolled in KU Leuven. Is there any like alumni network or alumni group like student may probably join or probably they can come start to?
I haven't looked up that information, so I don't know how many Taiwanese staff members we have, but
Right.
it's really fair to say that we will have at least I don't know 10 or 20 PhD students. So that's
Right.
not really staff, but it's not really student either. So most 100% sure that we will have, I know, some 10 or 20 PhD students from Taiwan as well. That would be a reasonable, I guess, but
Okay.
I haven't looked up the information. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's right. Uh, you mentioned there are like master's program and also advanced master program. What would be the difference between them?
Okay, thank you for your question. It's a very interesting question. So the academic career path would be that first you follow a bachelor program or something equivalent abroad, an undergrad program, so to say, in the US and in the UK, so often called undergrad, and then you do a master's degree. And a master's degree can be something like computer sciences, law, engineering. And then we have advanced master's degree, and they are really specific programs that build on master degrees. So you need a master to be able to enroll in an advanced master, something a good example would be if you take the master degree in computer sciences, you can do an advanced master in artificial intelligence, which is more specific.
Right.
If you do a master degree in, let's say, in business, you can do an advanced master in a really specific part of that field of study of business. So it's something that builds on. It's not necessary if you want to go work
Right.
in job fields, but it's something that students do if they want to have a really specific profile of, or they are really interested in a certain specific field of study.
Sure. which means like the master is actually the foundation courses that build you the basic and the very fundamental knowledge and skills about the specific subjects or major. And advanced master is something that you like to specialize in, and it's literally like optional for the
It is
student.
optional. It's, let's say that maybe 10% of our students follow an advanced master. It's probably even less. I myself didn't do an advanced master, and I don't think that a lot of students do. It's just when you want to be an expert in something really specific, then the prior master degree, the initial master degree will not suffice. If you want to study artificial intelligence, going back to my example, my earlier example, that's something so specific that it's not able to teach that in 5 years. So you need 3 years of bachelor studies, 2 year master studies, and then an additional year only to be an expert in artificial intelligence.
I see.
But if you want to be a
So
computer scientist,
yeah.
there your academic career stops after those 2 years of computer science, for instance.
Which might take them another year to complete their advanced masters, right?
Yes, yes. Most advanced
Okay.
masters are only 1 year of study.
Sure. And also, like for example, is any internship or say part-time job experience required for a master student in Belgium,
No,
in KU
no,
Leuven?
no. We will only take a look at what your academic career was. So we will take a look at what you studied, at which university. We might require a motivation letter, but we will not require work experience.
But are student eligible, like international student eligible for like part-time job in Belgium?
Yes, it's similar to what my colleague from Wallonia Brussels has already explained. We offer 1 year visa extension if you want to find a job in Belgium. So there's that. We also have the Student Career Center that will
Okay.
offer workshops in how to find a job, how to do the job interviews, and they also have a database of jobs that you can apply to. Obviously, we have in Belgium a lot of other platforms to find a job as well. So yeah, it's basically the same, and we try to support our students as much as we can.
I see. Very good. Regarding application to any program in KU Leuven, so you mentioned like they have to come from relevant background back in their bachelor or their previous experience. What if they are, for example, they are studying languages before, but they would like to study like business management? They don't have relative diploma.
Yeah.
Is any preparatory programs for them or
Um,
any like
there we have one program in our faculty of economics and business that is tailored towards students that do not have a background in economics and business. It's called the Masters of International Business and Management. But in general, you will need a background in the specific topic that you are looking into for a master's degree, to have a specific background in that and on your bachelor degree as well. But for the example that you named, if you have a background in, let's say, languages or social sciences, we have one specific master program that will teach you the business side of things as well.
okay, sure, which means they still have the option if
Yeah.
they don't have the relative diploma. Okay.
Yeah. For
Uh,
instances, with the example that you asked me, a student that has a background within languages can choose one of our language masters, but also this specific master in business, and maybe it's also eligible. Depends on what you've studied in one of our philosophy programs.
isn't it like subject or program did not accept like people doesn't have similar or same discipline back in bachelor? For example, like engineering or
Yeah, if you want to study
business
engineering,
or
for example, or medicine, all of that good stuff. So medicine, engineering, the sciences, so physics,
right.
chemistry, and all of that good stuff. You need to have a prior degree within the same field of study. If you want to study a master in chemistry, you need a bachelor in chemistry to say it. If you want to study a master in material engineering, you need a bachelor in at least a field of engineering. If you like me study communication sciences, it would be absolutely really weird or bonkers to go study engineering.
Right, that's true. You need a very basic like and then abundant of the knowledge about like
Yeah,
computer
you
science to
need to be
progress with it.
prepared to what you're going to study. Otherwise, it will be a waste of both your money and your time to go study something that you're not prepared for.
I see. Sure. Uh, as there are like in KU Leuven, you offer a program in different languages like in Dutch and English. For example, if they would like to study just language, like English program, do they have to also learn Dutch for
No,
graduation?
no. If you want
Oh,
to study in English, there's no need to learn Dutch at all. You can definitely get by using only English in everyday life as well. All classes will be in English. All textbooks will be in English. And everybody, I've mentioned that Leuven is a really small town. It's a university town, so everybody around here speaks at least some level of English. So you can go to the shops and get by without needing to learn the local language, as do our
right.
other international students.
I see. What if they would like to enroll in the Dutch program, but they don't have any Dutch
Yeah,
basics? Do they have to
if
take like
yeah, I need a student to attain a certain level of Dutch. Unfortunately, Dutch is a rather difficult language, so it's not something that we recommend. It's not something that we want to promote to our students, but we have an option to do a preparatory year in Dutch, so a full year of studying Dutch. It will not guarantee that you will attain the level of Dutch needed to study in Dutch. So it's not the easiest path to take. You need to be good in languages and you need to have, certain feeling for learning either English or Dutch or languages that are related.
I see. But would the would the school have the unconditional offer for the student if they don't have like the required Dutch level?
If no, if you want to enroll in one of the Dutch taught programs, you need to pass a test to see that you have obtained the level of Dutch needed to be able to study a certain program. Was that an answer to your question?
Yeah, I think which means like they have to first of all finish their or complete their preparatory program in Dutch languages
Yeah.
before they applying for any Dutch program.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
actually
First, you need to have the certificate, and then you can apply to a program. So it's a really
uh
difficult path to take.
but what would be the general English level that you require
Yeah.
for
The
learning?
minimum level of English, it varies by program, but the university minimum is IELTS 6.5 or TOEFL for the internet-based test of 79. So it's not
Mhm.
that low, but not that high either. I would say average for Western universities.
Right. It's quite general
Yeah.
level for most institution, university in Europe. Um, let's get back to there's audience. It's interested. If he or she is taking a full time job during studies, will there be possibility, like for example, they can attend these courses because for the job? Would that affect their graduation or it's
Um,
okay?
I that depends from program to program.
Right.
But what we would not recommend is to have a full-time job while studying. We are a top 50 university, so that means that the academic level is rather high. We need our students to be able to spend at least 50 hours a week on either following classes or studying or writing papers. So if you want to take a full-time job on those 50 hours a week, let's say, that will be
Right.
practically impossible. However,
Mhm.
we do have students that work part-time jobs or work evenings or work weekends. And we also have a student career center that will guide you in finding a student job. What I want to mention as well is that you should not. It is really hard if you want to come to Belgium for your visa and all of that good stuff. If you need to mention on your visa application that you will be dependent on having a student job, then it will be harder for you to get a visa. So it's better if you can prove your your funds or the fact that you will be able to maintain living here by a blocked account. It's some really specific information. It's really it's not an easy reading it either, but it's all on our website. So I saw that my colleague pasted links in the chat, so I will do that as well. If you want to know more about it, then
Or probably you can share with us, like right now.
so this is about the blocked account procedure. So you need to have proof of solvency if you want your visa to be accepted. That means that you can do that in three ways: either a certificate from the institution that you have been awarded a study grant or scholarship, a proof of guarantorship. So it's basically somebody that will officially write that they will support you financially, or you provide proof of your own financial means by transferring a certain amount to a blocked account administered by us, by the university, and that account that will hold your money, and they will transfer a certain amount of money to your own account every month. So we will not steal your money. It's still your money, but it can be used to prove your solvency to our government, which will make it easier for you to get a visa. So you need, it's not in Taiwanese dollars, it's in euros, but for a full academic year, you need over 9,000 euros, which is, give me a second, 9,000 euro to new Taiwanese dollar is almost 300,000 new Taiwanese dollar. So
Roughly, yes.
yeah, roughly. Depends on the stock market. Yeah.
Right.
But it's still your money. That's very important. So we will transfer a certain amount to your own account every month, and you can use that to get by. I think it includes your tuition fee as well. So if you take all of those factors into account, it's not that big. I don't know about the tuition fee. Can I see it somewhere here? No. My colleagues from the admissions office can definitely assist if you have any questions about the blocked account procedure.
We have another attendee. It's interested in the EIT, energy program.
Sorry, can you repeat? In what program?
EIT,
Yeah, in energy.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there will be like possibility to apply for a scholarship. There's a mastermind scholarship, and there's also EIT, energy scholarship. Can they apply it at the same time?
No, mastermind scholarships are specific. Mastermind scholarships are meant for programs that are supported. It's something legally. It's a legal process. Mastermind scholarships are scholarships for programs supported by the local government, and the EIT scholarships are meant for the EIT program, which is a program that is hosted by something related to the European Union. So it's something completely different, and I don't think that you'll be eligible for both scholarship programs. Would be fun though.
Based on what I know, like most scholarships are actually exclusive to each other. Like when you get or when you accept certain grants or scholarship, usually you cannot get a second
Yeah, I think you can enroll in the energy program without a scholarship, and then but it's not possible to apply for the mastermind scholarship if you want to enroll in this program because, yeah, for legal reasons. But let's keep it short at no, it's not possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since we mentioned the IT, energy program, would you like to probably briefly talk about it?
Yeah, of course. It's a program obviously in the field of engineering. It is hosted by us, KU Leuven, but also by 3 or 4 other universities within Europe, by universities that have been chosen by the European or by the Energy Commission. So well-known universities with a good reputation, and it will focus on something that we think is needed in everyday life. So a really specific profile, which is high in demand in the job market as well. The program is focusing on energy, obviously. So you'll have courses related to power systems, power electronics, energy markets, and all of the stuff that I don't understand at all. So it's about renewable energy, basically about the energy of the future and top technology energy.
Right.
Is that an answer to your question?
I think that's pretty much enough. I just want to let the audience know in case they might be familiar with this program. But yeah, it's kind of innovative this year since we are pretty like green issues or green
Yeah,
technology. I
yeah,
think
it's very
renewable energy is pretty like popular this year. So just let us
okay.
know
Yeah, then it's
if
very
you're
interesting
interested.
because
Yeah.
it's focusing on all of those factors as well. It's wind energy, water energy. It's about finding new ways
Right.
to 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 create energy, but also to store energy. So basically solving the energy question of the future.
Right. Uh, when they when student is trying to apply for a scholarship, what would be the other like document they might need to submit? Like for example,
Um,
do they need like the diploma, their academic certificates? Do they
yeah,
need
you will definitely need to prove, yeah, give us a CV, basically what you study, which courses, where, a motivation letter, most of the times as well. And the rest of the things are dependent on the specific scholarship program. Some might do interviews, others require a higher certificate on a language level. So yeah, but what will always be needed is a proof of what you've studied and where, if your academic yeah, your academic things that you've realized so far, and a motivation letter.
so like it's very more suggested to check uh, its scholarships requirement for document you need to prepare for them.
If you want a scholarship, I would suggest to first see if we have a program that you want to study, compare our programs to what other universities have, and then contact program staff. On our website, for every program, we have a contact button that will lead you to either the email address of program staff, program director, or that will lead you to a web form. And you can ask for scholarship possibilities for the program staff, because scholarships are often, as you mentioned already, program specific, and they can lead you to the website of the scholarship program, and they can tell you more about the red lines that are needed for applying to this scholarship.
Oh, so when a student is applying for like certain program, for example, like business and management program, um, even they don't have relative diploma, or whether they have it or not, if they have relevant working experience, would it be supportive or would it be a plus for their application?
I don't work for the admissions office, but as far as I know, working experience is never taken into account, because we are an academic institution. We want to train our students as researchers, obviously researchers that go into the field and work in various fields of study, to have jobs like you and me. But working experience is, as far as I know, never taken into account in the admissions process.
Okay. But like as far as know, there's a Taiwanese scholarship program in KU Leuven, right? Like,
Um,
I,
I don't know if for a
one,
specific scholarship program, no.
but yeah, okay. But anyway, they still can check the website to find information.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've learned. Um, Probably from year to year, there is a Taiwanese scholarship program offered by Belgium to support Taiwanese students to study in Belgium. So probably I would suggest you to probably check on websites. Usually that will be the beginning, like January of each year. So we definitely keep everybody updated if we find information. Uh, let's move on to another questions. What if is it for example if they say they would like to apply for a Dutch program, bachelor program in Dutch, what will be the minimum level of the language test?
The minimum level if you want to study in Dutch, right?
Right.
Let me quickly check the language proficiency requirements for Dutch. Okay, so the minimum level if you want to study in Dutch is B2. And you need, I'm going to share my screen. That will definitely make things
Okay.
easier.
Go ahead.
So the minimum level of studying in Dutch is B2. And you need one of these two tests, which is also, yeah, if you do the preparatory language year, in the end of the year, you want to you take one of those tests as well. So yeah, this is. Do you have a follow-up question related to studying in Dutch, maybe? Then I can go deeper into the topic.
Hurry not. But
If everything's clear,
yes.
it's better, obviously.
Yeah. Well, if like specific program require better or higher score of Dutch
No,
level, we can definitely.
no, I think if you already make this level of Dutch, the B2 level, I think this will be sufficient to enroll in either of our bachelor programs.
Mhm. Uh, Considering like some students are concerned about the pandemic, the worldwide pandemic situation, uh, would there be possibility they could defer their enrollment for 1 year or one semester, like with KU Leuven?
Obviously, I don't know what the future will hold for the pandemic, but we have had deferrals last year as well, and this year I think we didn't do any deferrals because of the vaccination degree that we have attained here in Belgium. I think that I don't know, and I don't know if we will do deferrals in the future. We have done them last year. So yeah, if um, I would suggest, if that's your concern, to contact the Corona committee of the university. You can share my contact details to the student that had that question. I will forward the question to the Corona committee, because it's something that I'm not able to answer.
Roughly almost the time today. Thank you, Peter. For the rest of the question, I think we need to like put it in words in detail, so we don't like really answer it. It's gonna be pretty long. Um, I will just forward those questions to you. You probably won't answer them by words. I think it's easier for you to understand further information on the site. So that's everything for today. Thank you, Peter, for bringing us the information tonight. And if you have your contact information, we will just have the audience who are interested, who would like to understand more about you, love on to you by your email. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for hosting. It was really interesting as well for me too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we're going to see you in the future often.
I hope so.
Yeah. And thank you for all joining us tonight. And we will see you next.
Thank you. Bye.